welcome to another Drink with Eddie Irvine. This is episode 14, I believe, Eddie, so we've done quite a lot already by now. What are we having today, Eddie?
I'm in Northern Ireland at the minute.
Okay, and what drink are you having?
I'm Cobra.
Is that beer or what is it?
Yeah, it's just beer, premium
Okay.
beer. Impossibly smooth.
For me, it's Salzburger Hofbräu. Don't even know where I got that from, but was the only thing I found in my fridge this morning. Eddie, I want to talk about Bernie Ecclestone because there are, and I'm sure you're aware of that, even though you don't follow it a lot. There is a rumor going on that Liberty Media, the company, media company by John Malone, is buying into Formula One, and it said that Bernie would not be CEO in that new constellation. You've known Bernie for a long time. We've talked about him quite a bit already and how he's doing business. What people don't know, I believe, is how is Bernie as a person? Do you remember when you first met? What was your initial impression?
I can't remember when I first met Bernie, to be honest. The first thing that really stands out is I had an altercation with one of the security guards at the Argentinian Grand Prix, and this guy ended up hanging over the side of a grandstand, and I'm holding on to him to try and stop him from falling, and the guy's punching me. And then eventually we got broken up because I was in my racing overalls trying to get back from my car back to the circuit or back into the paddock, and the guy wouldn't let me in. I'm like, this guy's an idiot. Anyway, so after the next race, Bernie came up and gave me a T-shirt for the Fighting Irish, Boston University, and then I had feelings with him from time to time. No, Bernie's a funny guy. Obviously, very good businessman. But what is he? 86 now?
Yeah, I think so. 85 or 86.
Yeah, it's just sad to see. But to be honest, he doesn't need to be the guy running it. But he's probably not a bad guy to keep around just for advice. But I don't know. John Malone, he's a very, very successful guy. He's bought a lot of property here in Ireland over the last few years. So he knows what he's doing. Formula One definitely needs something. You see Spa, what a great race because it's a great circuit. We can't keep building these Tilke circuits.
Yeah. We've had that a few times already, Eddie. You talk about John Malone buying a lot of property in Ireland. I didn't know that, to be honest. Does it mean you know him?
No, I don't. I just know he buys a lot of property here in Ireland. I think he buys a lot of property everywhere, to be honest. But no, I think he's American of Irish descent. Well, he's obviously of Irish descent.
Yeah, okay. Let's stick with Bernie. Martin Brundle wrote a really nice piece about him on the Sky Sports website, and I'm just going to read some quotes from that piece to you, and you'll let me know if you agree or if you don't. If you have any stories to tell, I'll appreciate it. First one is, Brundle writes, I've met a myriad of people who think that they are special to him, that he appreciates and respects them more. Forget it, it's a game he plays, so lower your guard. He doesn't do real emotion and warmth when it comes to business. You don't earn credits with Bernie.
I would probably agree with that.
Okay, made any experience like that?
Yeah, I've had a couple of things where I was kind of, I don't know, a little bit disappointed in how he operated, but hey, that's the way he operated. So, good luck.
Are you prepared to share one of those stories?
Not really business, it's business, but yeah, a bit disappointing.
Okay. Then another anecdote that Martin Brundle was writing down was, when I was chairman of the TPDA, I turned up at the first race of the season and my passes weren't available. They would be with Mr. E, who was arriving on Friday. Despite being a driver, I had to black my way into the track meanwhile. When I finally got an audience with my 3 passes were nicely arranged in a pyramid in the middle of a small table at which he sat. His opening statement was, let's talk about this TPDA. Well, that was Bernie was like. If he had anything to discuss with you that probably he wasn't too fond of, he would just take away your passes and get it running from there.
The passes is a big issue. I just spoke to someone the other day that they said it's just completely crazy. The amount of time devoted by hard-working people to try and organize passes for sponsors and valued clients is incredible. One of the reasons Bernie always gives me a pass every time I've asked. He's given me a pass, but I just don't want to bother him for me to get a pass, so I just don't bother going to the races anymore. It's just it's just too much of a palaver to get something that really should be quite straightforward. So that's the way it works. Maybe under John Malone it'll become much different, because the American, I can get a ticket to the Super Bowl easier than get a ticket to the Formula One race, which kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. But there you go. There does need to be changes. Bernie's taken it so far. Let's see if these guys can take it further.
Yeah. There's an urban legend around that Bernie was part of the Great Train Robbery in '63. Of course, you don't know if it's true or not, and it's probably not. But could you imagine a guy like Bernie being involved in stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. Because I used to deal in cars down around that area, and I know some of the guys that used to deal with Bernie. As a little second-hand car dealer, like Bernie was. So I wouldn't be surprised. And he probably likes the idea, knowing him, he probably likes the idea of people thinking he was involved. But, I think it was his racing driver was the getaway driver. So there obviously there was connections, let's say, but I don't know. But it's a nice story.
Yeah.
Except for the guy that got killed, during the robbery, which is obviously his family won't be too impressed.
Yeah. Yeah, they made famous careers. I mean, Ronnie Biggs is a celebrity, basically, in the UK. Finally, on Bernie, what's the nicest thing he did to you or to someone you know?
Give me that T-shirt.
Okay. All right. Nothing else comes to mind, no. Yeah, it's a good answer, Eddie. All right. Thanks a lot. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.